This might be the most useful video I've ever made. Not only are we going to walk through my favorite trading strategy, but I'm also going to walk you through step by step how I create and optimize profitable strategies using statistical analysis. And I get it. I remember being a beginner trader. I remember watching videos where people would pull up statistics like this and instantly being turned off because everyone just wants the big sexy strategy video, right? Which is why I'm going to talk through my strategy today. But then if you just stick around, give me the 8 to 10 minutes, however long it'll take me to walk through my statistical analysis, I promise it'll change the way you look at the stock market forever. Firstly, the strategy. It's actually really simple, which is part of what I think makes it so nice. I have always found that the strategies that involve a smaller amount of rules tend to be the ones that translate the best into real money profits from your backtesting, because you are preventing overfitting by limiting number of rules, right? I've created tons of strategies that are very complex, that look very profitable in a backtest, that don't actually end up making money, because the only reason they were profitable on the backtest is because I kept creating rules that made them work better on already existing data, right? So the strategy, once again, very simple. I have the 200 SMA plotted on the chart here from within my strategy. The current bar must be closing above the 200 SMA, and then the RSI value must be below 40. So we are looking to dip buy strong stocks. Weak RSI, but above the 200 SMA. The sell condition is RSI above 45. Being a reversal strategy, we're not looking for huge moves. We're just looking for that small enough bounce to go ahead and look for our exit. Now, the kicker to the strategy is that it will scale in to positions up to 10 times. As long as those same buy conditions are true, RSI under 40, close over 200 SMA, it will buy up to 10 times. So it scales in along the dip on the strong stock. Then when it gets that little bounce, sells for profit. The motivation for today's video came from this post on Twitter here asking, what's a trading hack that you believe everyone should know, but few actually do? I responded to this question with backtesting. I truly believe that anybody that properly backtests their trading systems can become a profitable trader. And the only reason that traders aren't profitable is because they are not taking these vital steps that I'm about to teach you over the next few minutes. So here is the strategy that we just covered running on the SPY daily chart, and the statistics, the Excel sheet that we've looked at a few times is from that chart. This win percentage, the max win, the max loss, the average trade, all these statistics are from trading the daily chart of the S&P 500 ETF SPY. But how did we get there? So I utilize code to automate my backtest data gathering. The plots you are seeing on your chart here is a strategy that I have coded into the machine to simulate entrances and exits based off of the conditions that I have plugged in. This is not necessary. You can gather data manually, but to gather all of this data manually, and not to mention to then continually optimize when changing small parameters or tweaks, I mean, it's talking hours and hours and hours of work and just of completely tedious manual data gathering work that you can skip by learning how to code. If code sounds daunting to you, it's what I've been doing now on ThinkorSwim for over 4 years. It's what I do on this channel. I have a handful of tutorials posted. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the videos. I promise you, it's not as scary as it looks. You can learn how to code within ThinkorSwim. But once again, if you don't want to, you hate code, no desire to ever learn it, you can do this process manually. Just understand it's a very tedious and time-consuming process. And if you really are like, Trey, I don't know computers. I refuse to learn how to code. I know I won't be able to do it. Well, I offer you a beacon of help. I have published all of my trading strategies on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. If you click through these couple of links here, I will show you what I'm talking about. Of course, there is a cost to this. I'm sorry, but I work really hard on this stuff. I can't just give it away for free. But for just $25, you're going to get access to all of these strategies, and you can just immediately take them then and plug them in and utilize the steps we're about to go over to run the back test, to gather the data. I promise you, $25. It is a monthly charge because I am always updating and adding new codes, but you can cancel at any time under the My Account tab. But for that $25, utilizing all these strategies, running the back test, I promise you, it'll change your trading forever. I promise you the $25 investment in yourself is worth it. So daytradingstrategies.net. Check out the link in the description down below. So now, after going through that whole spiel for this first step, I'm going to assume you are using coded strategies. If you're not, if you really are going to go the manual data gathering route, that's fine. You will just skip this first step and go straight to step number 2. But the first step, if you are using ThinkorSwim codified strategies, is you right-click on any of your order arrows, click on this show report. This is going to show you all your trades and the data associated with them. The only issue is you just don't get very many statistics. Gives you the max trade P&L, gives you the total P&L, gives you the total orders. And we want to see a lot more than that, right? We want to get to the point of, max win, max loss, win percentage, all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we are going to export this file, and we are going to export it as a .html file. Go ahead and save that. So coming into a blank Excel workbook, if we go into File, we go into Open. By default, at least for me, should be for you as well, the ThinkorSwim document that you just saved will be saved in your Documents folder. Make sure you are showing all files, not just all Excel files, as this is a Chrome document, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to open that, and this is your data gathering. So this is now going into step 2. If you did the manual data gathering route, you will already have all of this. You will just have gone through and done this whole part by hand, right? So now step 2, we really just get to start diving into the fun stuff, start to do some of the calculations, right? So if I just zoom out here a little bit, let me actually just scroll over. Let's do a max win. Let's do a max loss, and let's do an average trade. If I could type, that would be helpful. And then let's do an average trade. So to get your max win, you simply type in equals max, open parentheses, and we are going to be taking this G column, which is our trade P&Ls. This is the profit and loss from each individual trade. You will notice that these numbers are coming in on the sell conditions of this strategy. So if I just grab this whole column here, close my parentheses and hit enter, max win 723. For max loss, we're going to do a similar thing, except we are going to use the min function on the G column, minus $2,400. And then for average trade, we are going to use the average function on the G column, 149. Of course, what I'm going to do next, highlight these, right click, go to format cells. I want them to look nicer. I want it to be currency to 2 decimal places. I like to use this red parentheses as my negative. Of course, choose whatever you want here, but just to make it look a little bit prettier, here's our max win, max loss, and average trade statistics now from this strategy on the SPY chart. And can I take a second here to talk about something? I'm not going to do it in this video because really the point of YouTube videos like this, right, is to teach you the process and then for you to take over. I don't want to make a 2-hour long YouTube video of me doing the whole thing. But what you'd really want to do here, right, after you have gathered this data from the SPY chart, is you'd want to hop back in and you'd want to pull other data. Say you hop into waste management, so you get a little bit of a different sector. You'd then, of course, want to export this to HTML and add it to the end of this list of data. Then you'd want to pull, then you'd want to pull Apple's data. Then you'd want to pull NVIDIA's data. You'd probably want to hop into a couple of different sectors. Oftentimes, I like to go through the alphabet of stocks, A, B, C, D, E, F. It's a good way to just get a mix of different sectors and randomize your data collection. But the point I'm trying to get at is what you'd want to do is you'd want to gather all of that data from all those different stocks and just kind of add them, copy and paste them all into one Excel document so that you are getting a larger, more random subset of data than just one ticker like we're doing on SPY. But like I said, for today's video, just to teach you how to do it, we are just going to do it on SPY. Just a note for how you should be actually running your back test on your strategies, right? Next, let's calculate our win percentage. This is a little bit more of a fun Excel calculation. First, we're going to do, of course, equals, as this is a formula. We're going to do the count if function, and we're going to take the G column as the first parameter of the count if function, and the second parameter being open quotations of greater than 0, close quotations, and that is our count if. This is going to add 1 to the count if the value is positive. So if there's a winning trade, it's going to add 1 to the count, and then we are going to divide this by the total count of the G column. So winning trades divided by all trades. That's how you get your winning percentage, right? Now, something very important to note about this, Trey, what about all the blank empty cells? Luckily, Excel is the best software ever made, and it automatically just skips, doesn't count at all those blank empty cells, so we don't have to worry about that. Gives you a 0.9 value. We, of course, then would format this cell as a percentage. Let's do it to 1 decimal point because why not? Gives us our win percentage on the SPY daily chart with this strategy of 90.7%. Next, we are going to calculate the max drawdown. This is a very important statistic in backtesting, probably even more important than the total P&L. It doesn't matter if a strategy makes a ton of money if it's got an 80% max drawdown, right? The risk is not worth the reward. In that case, you want to be building strategies with a good sized max drawdown versus the potential reward. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add in 2 more columns here to simply right click insert just to give myself a little room. And then in this first new column, I'm going to type in max, and we are going to do $8. That is going to select the running value here of our first cell in the running P&L column, and then I'm going to type in colon H8. Not going to lie to you, as I close the parentheses here, I'm not 100% certain what this formula means. Someone smarter than me with Excel formulas can maybe explain it in the comment section down below, but what I do know is that the outcome of this formula is it's always returning the highest point that we have been at on our running P&L. See here, we were at some point here, we hit $12,494 up. Then we had a pretty big loss. Well, it keeps printing 12,494 until we eventually, right at the end, get kind of back above that peak. Does that make sense? Then in our next column here, I'm simply going to type in equals, and we are going to subtract the running P&L number from that maximum P&L number. This will show us how far down we are on our running P&L from our total maximum, right? If I once again grab this formula and drag it all the way down to the bottom of our data set, you will see when we were down here after that pretty large loss, that gives us how far away our current P&L is from our maximum P&L. Once you have that set up, now, the actual formula for the max drawdown is easy, right? I'm sure you can guess. We are simply going to take the minimum of this new column, and this is going to give us our max drawdown. If we formulate this cell into a currency, you will see our max drawdown on this strategy, negative $2,534. Really, just a couple of easy and fun things to wrap it up. The total P&L and number of trades already exist, but it's all the way at the bottom of this data set. And if you do as you're supposed to do, as I explained earlier, and combine multiple data sets, that number will, of course, be thrown off. So let's calculate our total P&L quick, which is easily just the equals sum of all of our individual trades. There is your total P&L. And then let's calculate our total trades. That is going to be a simple equals count of all of our trade P&Ls because that represents each one of our cells. Go ahead and enter in that. That gives us 86 total trades. And once again, let's just format this to a currency, up $12,842. We can run that back with how it looks in ThinkorSwim. We are indeed up $12,842. So all of our data, all of our calculations are correct. Now that you've followed these steps and you have this data calculated, the beautiful thing, you obviously save this. You can save this as your templates. Now, whenever you run a strategy, whenever you run a back test on a new strategy, you can simply come in and you can copy the formulas that were made from this book and paste them into your new book. The data is always formatted in the same way. They will always be in the same columns. So these formulas will always work. Of course, you'll have to add these two new columns again, but then you will easily be able to copy in these formulas. So now that you have this template, yes, making this template maybe took a little time. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. Luckily, this is a YouTube video. You can go back and watch and slow down if you need to catch up on some of these formulas. But once you have this made, you really never have to make it again. You just simply copy these formulas into whichever strategy you're running your test on. Speaking of which, I really hope you all take advantage of the website daytradingstrategies.net. For $25, you're going to get access to over 15 different strategies that you can now plug in to the Excel worksheet that we just built. I promise you, after you have a look at the strategies and a look at the data of the strategies, you will never see the stock market again. And you know what? I always like to give you all that watch my whole videos a little bit of a boost. You all are the ones taking your education seriously. You all are the ones most likely to make it. So if you use discount code END on my site right now, you'll get your first month for only $15. This means you're paying less than $1 a strategy for that first month. And of course, don't feel like you're locked in. You can cancel at any time. I get a lot of emails saying, Trey, I don't want to spend $25 a month. That's fine. If you just want to sign up, download the codes, then cancel, that's fine. I have it set up as a subscription, as I said earlier, because I'm always adding new stuff. But if you just want to pay once for what already exists, I'm perfectly okay with that. It's perfectly cool. But use discount code END on my site today. Get access to all, and there's studies, indicators, scanners, scanner columns. There's all kinds of other fun stuff for you to mess around with, more than just the strategies. But use the backtest worksheet that we built together today. Run through the strategies, look at the data, look at how the strategies trade, look at how the data is extrapolated on those strategies. You'll start to learn really the difference between how a reversal strategy works, how a runner strategy, a continuation strategy works, the difference in day trading versus swing trading. I promise you, you take the strategies, you plug them into the worksheet, you're going to learn so much. It is so worth the $15 investment in yourself. I hope you take advantage of it. With all that being said, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.